Hey guys, just here for a very unhinged dungeon underground lair version of the Aquarius full moon video. So hold on to your socks. This one's gonna be a little crazy. If you guys fall off this crate, I'll try to catch you in time, okay? So this full moon is, in my head, it's kind of that cliche of like the ER rooms are really busy. That's not a great way to start off an astro video, but okay, so we're gonna unpack this. So this full moon, the Aquarius full moon, is gonna go exact on the 19th of August, on the moon's day, Monday. So we can expect that kind of lunatic, unhinged energy to be acting up. Yeah, so really lean into putting yourself, like I am in this video, in new locations, kind of taking advantage of the kind of serendipitous timing of putting yourself literally kind of on the edge of your comfort zone in kind of strange places, not like intentionally sketchy places, but you know, if we stay in our routine, this lunation is really gonna shake us out of it. And if we're not kind of conscious of it and kind of leaning into ways that we can co-create our reality, which sounds really woo-woo, but it can be pretty straightforward. It can come out in sort of sideways, sort of agitated ways in our interpersonal relationships. So with this new moon, like having that tongue, whatever the saying is, the tongue that cuts, words that cut, whatever that saying is, watching for if we're feeling boxed in or constrained or confined in any way, ways that that can kind of turn outward as this sort of just generalized agitation and just wanting to just kind of blow something up. So if we're like, we want to blow something up in the life, it's a good idea to check in if we are honoring our needs and our need for growth and change and spontaneity, because there's a big, so if you are a person who has prominent placements in the fixed signs, so those are going to be Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, and Taurus, or the mutable signs. So those are our mercurial and our Jupiter signs. So think Sag, Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini. If you have any placements in those signs, expect to be kind of feeling it around this full moon. So yes, kind of, especially with this lunation is forming a square, a kind of tense but very productive potentially aspect to the planet Uranus in the 7th house, wanting to be around new people, meet new people, wanting to kind of pioneer some new thing or blow something up. The need for change and the need for, especially in the places of our lives that have been last to change, the most stable, the previously most taken for granted, may kind of start to feel the heat at this time. So the day before this full moon, we have a Mercury Cazimi, which is like the midpoint in the Mercury retro cycle. And so, yeah, again, being conscious of like people coming from the past, coming into our lives, kind of spontaneously or recklessly remaking connections or reaching out to old people, or just wherever the Leo house is in your chart, being aware of that Mercury retrograde currently happening in that house. Yeah, so this full moon feels a little frustrated. I'm gonna start shuffling the tarot. I don't know if this is gonna be a very long video. In Aquarian fashion, it's not gonna be like the others. So whatever you can expect, expect the unexpected, I guess. Yeah, we also have Venus very prominent on the midheaven in the sign of her fall in Virgo. And so a lot of themes I saw around like renegating things in general, and we might see kind of public discussions about gender, about women, I don't know, just things around, I don't know, maybe some like prominent policies happening or court cases, something like that. Yeah, and the need, specifically with this new moon, the need to have an outlet is really, really, really important when we're working with Uranus. And especially with Mars and Jupiter in Gemini, which can make us riled and ready to go and fighting everyone. Having an outlet, especially like a mental outlet. So I'm trying to think, like, what would that even be? I don't know, like if there's some space for some kind of like constructive debate to take place, if that's possible, or some sort of like more physical outlet can be great too if you're feeling kind of frustrated or agitated at the time of this full moon, because we also have, anytime we have a full moon across the 4th and the 10th house axis, I find it's a lot of times around processing or being confronted with or coming to terms from our history, where we come from. Also just like our deeply ingrained, almost like somatic body habits. And then the 10th, like where we're going, like kind of this trajectory of like underground to mountain type thing. And so sometimes we can find ourselves on one end or the other of that kind of polarity. We're feeling like we're quite literally like in the underworld, or kind of feeling like super, like we're shining and being seen, and kind of this like peak experience. But, and especially with Saturn very close to the IC, so like the lowest point in the chart, we could be kind of confronted. And also I find Moon in Aquarius often deals with, you know, like having to confront familial ancestral stuff around kind of the way that lack has been just like a habit or imposed on us kind of generationally, and the ways that just kind of like tough reality comes out. So fun times. Ooh. Okay, let's check in. Okay, what are the energetics that we might experience as a collective with this Aquarius full moon, the 19th of August? What are some clues that might help us identify our experience around this Aquarius full moon? What is the energy? Yeah, I'm already seeing some imagery. It really hits hard. Okay, and I apologize for the lighting. We have like a lamp on the floor. Okay. Okay. Ooh, got a flipper. Thank you. Okay. This Aquarius full moon. Queen of Cups. I love to see that. That's gorgeous. The Ace of Cups in reverse. Okay. The importance of timing is big. And that's where the other kind of like serendipitous encounter thing comes in, where we're just kind of, when we put ourselves in situations that we aren't normally in, or just like literally do something random and sporadic and kind of crazy, sometimes things will come together. Like there's like a very, and this is the first lunation after Lionsgate too, so that kind of like, I don't know, faded feeling of like things are falling into place if we're allowing the uncertainty. Oh, the King of Cups in reverse. Okay, interesting. We have a ton of water in this chart. Okay. We do have Scorpio rising. Okay. So immediately my eyes are going to the Six of Swords, which shows this man kind of rowing this like cloaked figure and child away from some place that they used to be. And as you can see, there's kind of this like more turbulent water on this side of the boat towards like a new world and clearer, like more calm, less turbulent water, but it's also unknown. And so this makes me think about the necessity that we kind of have to interact with the energy of this full moon and kind of take this leap of faith energy, especially with the world reverse, kind of all of our fear and kind of doubt showing up around failure, around all of the kind of like negative self-talk with Saturn on the IC of kind of like this internalized pessimism. So if we're feeling kind of like in any way depressive, or like this could be also like, I will say, with like Venus in her fall in a Mercury ruled sign, and then also with a Mercury retrograde, and then also with Jupiter in its detriment in Gemini, like the Gemini energy, like the mental mercurial energy is not doing super hot. So we could find that kind of like catastrophizing coming up, or the need to have like clarity and precision and like where we're going, but this kind of confusion or kind of this like Neptunian fog could come up, especially with Pallas Athena, the asteroid goddess of like strategy and war, and in addition to lots of other things near the ascendant, kind of the want, like the desire to have a strategy, but being ultimately in the dark for a while. And kind of this like, oh, what if I lose it all? This is funny too, because on the corner of this sign, we have all of the fixed signs. We have Taurus with the bull, we have Leo with the lion, the water bearer, and I don't know why Scorpio is an eagle. It's kind of funky, but yes, so that's kind of cool. The fixed signs are represented here. Yes, this like new opportunity, but we kind of have to like empty out this, like literally with the Ace of Cups in reverse, kind of emptying out this like, there's like a choice being made here with the Two of Pentacles between like what's easy and what's safe and what's familiar, which may even be something that's not very smooth sailing, literally. Like it could be safe but also super turbulent. And then the kind of like belief and will and the self-belief to kind of take this leap and to temporarily be in more turbulent water before it gets easier, if that makes sense. And kind of seizing this kind of like swift wind of this like Mercury conjunct Mars in Gemini, which is very fast moving, potentially explosive, but just this like very quick spark of life energy. And first, in order to seize this opportunity, we have to let something go equally. There's like this dual thing happening here, which is very interesting. And I love, we have the King and the Queen of Cups. The King of Cups is in the reverse position. And so this kind of affirms my kind of underlying thought around the importance of kind of, with a planet. Okay, so there's a quick thing I'll explain. So in astrology, we have 4 different kind of classical, I don't know what you call it, like we call it dignity basically. So a planet can be in its domicile, which is its home signs, or sign. And then it can also be exalted, which is also like a traditionally very positive position. And then the more negative ones are, it can be fallen or in its detriment. And when planets are in these signs, they tend to teach us a lot, kind of in an untraditional way. And so while Venus is not operating in the like typically Venusian areas of our lives, which is like Taurus, which is its like home sign, as well as where it's exalted in Pisces, in Virgo, it teaches us a lot around the beauty of discipline in a way, but that's not the right word. Let me really tune in and find what the word is. The beauty of like committing to yourself in a way, in this kind of like resolved way. So while Venus is fallen, there can be like, we take less pleasure from the typical Venusian areas of our lives. Like, I don't know, food, it can just like not taste as good as it normally does. I don't know, when it's in Taurus, or just the sensual experiences of life can be a little bit dulled, but we get a new insight into maybe areas that we typically overlooked that produce a lot of meaning and satisfaction and fulfillment in our lives, but that kind of went previously under the radar or we didn't fully see. And so just like the simple joy of what I think about with Virgo a lot is like a routine, like a very, like a place that we can come into to kind of calm the nervous system when this kind of like electrical Uranian energy is very high in the collective and in maybe your personal life as well. Having some tuning with all these water cards, yeah, just taking time to like be in water and allow this kind of experience of kind of tuning into the simple joys and kind of finding this inner resolve and this inner stability, despite all of the water and all of like the waves that are represented in all of these tarot cards in terms of, yeah, and there's only 2 that don't really have water represent. No, this one does, so only 1. All the rest have a lot of water present. Yeah, and so again, like when I see water, I think of emotions, I think of heightened feeling, and so kind of bringing some love and awareness to the kind of psycho parts of ourselves. I kind of love that part of Aquarius that kind of just allows us to just like really, really go off the deep end, not in a constrained way. So there was this woman who channeled these things called Sabian symbols. If you don't know what that is, it's okay. But there's one for every single one of the degrees of the zodiac, so 360 of them. And the one for the degree of the ascendant in this lunation chart has to do with like Halloween, interestingly, which if you know anything about like social theory and like sociology, I think it was Emil Durkheim, maybe? Ooh, who knows? But his point, some guy's point who talked about Halloween was like, we need these planned opportunities and outlets within society to kind of throw out all of the rules. Like Halloween, it's okay to trespass on people's property and come up to their homes. It's okay to give strangers food. It's okay to like wear 0 clothing if you want to, or dress like an elf, or like things that normally might get you sent to jail, but it's allowed. And what this makes me think about, how do we get onto this tangent? Okay, anyways, so the importance of, oh yes, Aquarian energy. Embracing that inner Halloween. I mean, it's August, but who cares? We have Christmas in July, so we should also have Halloween in August. So yes, really taking yourself on a walk around the block. Maybe this would be a great time to go to like a costume party. Any sort of strange, if you get an invitation, that you're like, maybe just say yes, okay? I think that's our concluding message. It was great to talk to you guys. I know this one was a little more unhinged than usual. Yes, also I put up a poll and I would love your feedback. I think it's on the little community tab near the top of your like little YouTube thingy, if you go to this channel. And there's just a few questions that'll really help me decide how to take the future of this channel just based off of what type of content you guys would like to see. So I know there's like 20 of you, so like, ooh, big crowd. But if you have a minute, I would appreciate it if you want to just basically go to the poll. It'll say if you want shorter form content, if you like the way it's going. So yes, much love, mwah. Much luck, hold on to your socks for this one. And yeah, I'll check in with you guys for the next new moon.